Hey there everyone, Lord Frigid here with the 21st episode of Aether Raid's Offense. This time we've got the first light season video in quite some time, and I was able to manage that by my new initiative of trying to care about bonus units. I was able to actually restructure my raiding parties to use a setup of 2 mythics, 2 carries, and 1 bonus. This time that bonus unit is Brunia. So let's go ahead and just get right into that. So this is the first map up, and I have to tell you guys, it is kind of pretty strictly in the just alright territory. As far as space control, you can probably see that the map focuses heavily on this space right here. Alm, Ophelia, and Yoon all have their sights trained on it. And in fact, probably what the first thing happens is that Ophelia uses Rally Up Attack on either Alm or Yoon and gets immediately refreshed by Micaiah, and that does extend her threat range out to here, so that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, unfortunately, the map's space control is pretty bad, particularly here on the left edge and here on the right edge. On the left edge, you can use a ranged attacker and a refresher combination to poke Surtur and then refresh and then reposition out to safety. And you'll probably also want to break one of the structures down on the bottom, your pick of either Faye statue or the street lamp, and that will cause the ranged units up at the top to just kind of funnel slowly towards you in a single file line, well, except for Yoon, who can cross the lava. But that's a very easy way to get the AI aggroed and just pick the enemies off as they come down towards you. On the right, only Yoon is going to be able to hit that space. As I noted before, if you stick someone there, the first thing that happens is Ophelia rallies and gets refreshed. And at that point, only Yoon is going to be able to actually hit that spot. Even if Lucina were to come down and use Future Vision, she wouldn't be able to get there. Well, unless you were to somehow not take out Yoon, which, why would you stick a unit there if you weren't going to take out Yoon? But yeah, those are the 2 big weaknesses I note with this map. Of course, any very, very solid range tank is going to be able to handle this one with relative ease. All might pose an issue depending on who you're using, of course. So I took a bit of a more direct approach with this map, kind of just chucked my range tank in there. So let's go ahead and get right to that. Now I know some of you guys are probably thinking, oh god, he's using Faye again. But hear me out, hear me out. This is a different Faye set that is more tuned to an evolving meta where you have a bunch of very fast player phase units whose entire job is to kill slow range tanks. So this build I actually blatantly stole off of some guy in the top 50 of the Aether Raid leaderboard one day. I like to look around there every now and then just to see if I can find anyone who uses the units I like to use and has any build ideas that I can maybe swipe. And I just swiped this one. This was really cool, I thought. It uses bonus doubler to make Faye, of all units, into a speedy range tank. So I'm using Kaden to obviously boost that speed even further. If in this case, when she's initiated on by a ranged unit, she actually has 61 speed if Peony is not in the same row or column as her, and 64 speed when she is. So that's pretty funny. So the person I saw okay, I guess I didn't really copy outright. I borrowed. Because they went full on for the speed stack. They used a speed asset, and they used a speed refinement on the Bow of Devotion, the whole 9 yards. And I actually very much value the automatic follow-up that the Bow of Devotion provides, because if the enemy isn't running null follow-up or something, if they're running if they just have a lot of speed, of course 64 is a whole lot more speed than I think even most player phase speedsters reach. But if say they do have enough speed to prevent a natural follow-up from that, and they're not running null follow-up, then Bow of Devotion's effect refinement would be nice. Also, such cases as Sturdy Impact, or is it Sturdy Impact? I think it's Sturdy Impact. Sturdy Impact, Mirror Impact, that kind of thing, where Faye maybe is fast enough to double, but can't because that skill negates it. It's nice in those situations as well. So that's why I ended up sticking with the Bow of Devotion, and of course I don't just have plus speed face lying around, so I wasn't able to change her nature. Not that I would have changed it from defense. Def is pretty nice. So, actually back to the battle, of course I say, now that I've taken out 5 out of the 6 enemies. It's pretty straightforward at this point. I just need to use Faye to hit Surtur. She can actually deal a decent amount of damage, and even more once I get the defense drop on him, because she actually has a doubled +6 attack buff with Caden right near her. So no point in getting air out of there. Surtur's going to get his damage and Surtur's menace off on Faye anyway. So I believe I just need to hit him again, and then at this stage, after Faye hits him one more time, he'll be below the range where Wary Fighter will help him, and I think now I can break the Aether structures.
Yes.
And just have to make sure that I get both Faye and Air to safety with straight movement and reposition. So this one should be a pretty quick finisher. So that's the new Faye set. I kind of like it actually. It's pretty.
Okay.
It's interesting. This is the second map up, and it's pretty interesting in that it's composed of 5 melee units, 1 ranged unit, and 2 of the melee units are the most obnoxious enemy phase tanks to ever walk the face of the planet in Brave Ike and Seliph. So this map, it covers a decent amount of space, but I wouldn't really say it threatens it particularly well, particularly because the map's building placement creates natural choke points here and here. The right one, I would argue, is a little bit safer, where you can stick a melee tank if you have one, and yeah, you basically just force the enemy to file at you 1 at a time, or I guess 2 on the first turn because Yoon will attack. And it's not going to be a fun time for them. Of course, not everyone has a melee enemy phase tank, which is a bit of a downer if you don't. If that's the case, then this space is probably your safest initiation point, because Seliph will attack, and then whoever gets refreshed by Lian will attack, and then nobody else will. So those are the two big things to keep in mind. So I used enemy phase melee tanks, and I used the right choke point. So let's go ahead and just get right into that approach. All right, I had the audacity to put together a raiding party where the core is literally 2 dragon armors. And granted, Sothis is not affected by dragon effectiveness, but still, it's not exactly something you see every day. So I don't think this enemy team actually has an answer to Idun. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the raiding party's construction, while she hopefully decimates the entire enemy team. The raiding party is obviously based around Idun and Sothis. Sothis is carrying the attack speed bond seal, which is a little bit weird because usually bonds are not exactly great skills for Aether Raid's defense, or Aether Raid's offense, because there's the risk of your adjacent backline unit getting picked off by a range extended refreshed unit. That's not really a problem for Sothis, however, because I mean, both of these units are very combat capable. Either one could be on the back line and they'd be totally fine. I trust that. So that's, and the other factor is all the other seals that she might actually want to use, like Quick Riposte, are stuck on other units. Quick Riposte in particular is on Brave Ike. I have a Brave Ike raiding party, by the way. No Brave Lucina on it, unfortunately, because she's stuck in Astra season helping out Flora and Altina, but maybe I'll be able to break that out someday. At any rate, the setup is designed such that Idun has the highest attack, defense, and res, and then my merged air has the highest speed and highest combined attack and speed, which means that Sothis never eats a chill or a shrine debuff. Idun takes most of them. Air takes a couple of them. Idun doesn't really care too much about debuffs because, well, Demonic Breath negates them during combat. Let's see. That's really the nuances of this raiding party's construction. I'm gonna go ahead and leave Brunia here actually, so Lian attacks her. I want to draw her out, make sure she is nice and endangered, right next to my team. So yeah, let's just go ahead and take her out now. I believe a combination of air and Brunia will do the trick.
As you
And
say.
then I'll have, what am I gonna do here?
The glimmer of
I don't want them both to, actually Selef has
This
Miracle. Or his
A fine
the refined
evening.
Tearfing. The miracle on his refined Tearfing, there.
Yes.
So he's not really in danger of dying, and in fact I'm pretty sure he's just gonna use Rally Speed. So I can definitely do this and still get the Aether M4 on the next turn. Sothis, okay, so we should see a rally, and then Sothis dies to Adun. Yep. Oh, she got completely destroyed there. Okay, and now I am free to smite my air over to the left and get the Aether M4. And, I mean, I can probably just press end turn now, honestly. Yeah, I'm only on turn 5, so that's fine. Come at me, Selef. See what you got. Probably not a whole lot, to be perfectly honest. Yep, 0. And take it down to the Miracle. This is probably gonna hurt a little bit since you are at 1 HP, but I think it can take it. So, that was a pretty easy one. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Aether Raid's Offense. I know I had a lot of fun actually trying to care about bonus units. So next week we have Astra Season. I do plan on having a Aether Raid's Offense video up for that. I will be using Jafar as my bonus unit. It's gonna be a little weird, I think. I haven't even actually decided what build I'm going to give him, so we'll see how it goes. Regardless, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.